In our program, we value resident well-being.
We know that time away from work is important.
In this video, we will highlight some of the activities that my fellow residents and I participate in during our free time.
I actually grew up in Minnesota, but this is the first time I've lived in Rochester. There's tons of hiking nearby. Me and my wife and our baby will go for a hike almost every weekend. Me and my wife do a lot of sailing around this area. If you're not into boating at all, you can go hike some of the cute small towns around the area.
Moving to Minnesota is a pretty scary event for my wife and I. She and I are both from Louisiana and essentially both have lived there our entire lives up until now. Here, there's like 4 real seasons, which I haven't ever experienced before. I really enjoy being out in all 4 seasons. During the summertime, in the spring, I like to fish. During the fall, winter, I hunt, and then also in the springtime, I get out and hunt a little bit too. So I really appreciate all 4 seasons, but probably that time frame when everything kind of greens up and comes alive again in the spring is my favorite.
I think as I was going through the interview process, knowing that we were going to couples match, we'd both be in residency together, I was looking for a program or a town that was relatively easy to get around, and I wanted to kind of minimize stressors outside of residency. We live a little over a mile away from the hospital, so we can get in to work in like 5 minutes.
The programs also work really well together to try to coordinate our vacation time and also like checking in to make sure that they feel like we're getting enough time together as a couple too.
My husband and I decided to live in an apartment building across the street from St. Mary's Hospital, so it really saves a lot of time. In our apartment building, there's a great workout facility, there's a pool. We love living here because it's also downtown. There's plenty of new restaurants to try out. Saturday morning, it's always fun to walk the dog over and grab a coffee. We can hop on bike trails and head out from this area as well too. So it ultimately seemed like an easy decision.
I'm really happy with where I'm at. I bought a townhouse, and so relatively easy, just closing. The market goes fast out here during that time. So the transition from Las Vegas to Rochester was a lot different than what I had been used to. I had never been to the Midwest before. Obviously, with the interview cycle that I participated in, I wasn't able to travel for interviews, but I had a great interview experience with the program and knew that this is where I wanted to be. Otherwise, I feel like it's been relatively easy. My co-residents have made this a really easy transition. I've gotten to meet a lot of new people, not just within my program, but made a lot of friends from other programs on off-service rotations.
People often ask, is Rochester a good place for singles? And the short answer is yes. Rochester is a Midwest city, but it has an awesome vibe to it, and there's actually a lot of young people, which I was pleasantly surprised about, both that work from Mayo and also the other industries in the area. I can't wait to spend the next 5 years finding my favorite spots here.
I'm Rob Masalak, one of the current PGY4s here at Mayo Clinic Rochester. There's a fair number of residents that have kids. The program is really supportive. We send Annika to daycare about 4 days a week, and she really loves it. But when I'm at home, like this weekend, and Shay's working, it's just me and her.
Went to med school in Chicago at Loyola and then came here for residency and love it here. It's very similar to Iowa. It's nice. We're both Midwest at heart, so it's definitely home to us.
Which is why we come to places like the farmers market on the weekend to get our produce, and we like to go to the art center.
Yeah, they do really cool shows. They really bring in a lot of diversity, which I like to a lot of their shows. I think coming here and not knowing anyone was kind of one of our big question marks, and it being a smaller town, but Jen's met a lot of good friends, and I've met good friends in and out of our department, and it's been a really nice change.
Being a resident at Mayo Clinic, it's the best place to do residency. When you first start here at this program, you really are on a team with the chiefs who have been there for 5 years and are giving you their wealth of knowledge as they are finishing up their time here, and you're just starting yours. And we always celebrate that during a chief roast, which I think it's one of the most looked forward to events. It's the transition point in the program between, getting through the intern year and also for those who are finishing and celebrating that bond that you develop.
I think Rochester's, it's perfect because obviously we have like a world-class medical facility, but I think the life outside of residency is about as easy as it could be, and I think that's certainly something that was really important to us as we were going through the interview process.
We hope this video shows you a little bit more about who we are as a group. It's one thing to have top-notch surgical training, but it's another thing to have really great people to work with at the end of the day.
We can't wait to welcome you into our group.